So Rana is CEO of Mix Commerce. His topic is marketing enablement and empowerment of forceful change and digital transformation. But yeah, I'll let him do the talking about his words.
So, hello, I'm Rana Jayant, a typical computer science engineer. Studied in a tier 2 or tier 3 kind of college. After not studying my 11th and 12th, because I was more interested in doing business, and went to my uncle's photo shop where I learned Photoshop and all other stuff. Turns out, it was not very interesting. So my father suggested that I should do engineering, right? And I got my computer in 2011, and then my father purchased that for me. The days were interesting. I was very much keen in electronics because my village didn't have power. So I used to spend my 1.5 rupees or 1 rupees, which I collected for a very long time, 50 paisa I was working at that time, in purchasing those LEDs, and that is how I got interest in technology. I was a very bad cricket player. I was not appreciated, so I didn't feel very comfortable there, so went off from there. So anyway, so engineering comes along. Engineering was interesting because this is where life started to go in the positive direction. Why so? Well, because the culture where I was living in was not pushing me enough. And after I came to engineering, what happened eventually that things started to go in a structured way. Now, if you are an engineer or if you have learned mathematics, what you see is machines are very straightforward. They don't change their behavior. Whatever inputs you give to them, it gives you the output return, right? So, because I had a little bit of business background and I had phone repair shops and all these things, I was kind of feeling that at the end of 4th year, I will be working in a startup. So what happened that my 2nd year, some Firefox people came in the picture, Firefox browser, they came in the picture in the college. And I felt very interesting because they were doing events, they were teaching technology, they were teaching drag and drop builders and all of the stuff. By 3rd year, I started my very first blog, and on that, I wrote how to get a GeoSIM, right? If you remember those days, you had to get QR code to get a SIM card, and that was the second stage. First stage was you had to buy a Geo phone to get a SIM, and second stage was like you get if you have a different phone also, if you have a QR code, you can scan that and then you can get a SIM card. And people used to stand in line, 300 people in line, right? And APK file was not available on Play Store. So you had to find it out from your friends and family, and then you had to install that, register yourself and get the QR code. So why was it so different? Why was it so different? What did I write differently? How to get a geocode? It was just a few step process, right? Yes, it was a few step process. There was nothing magical about it. But the crazy part was, the customer wanted the APK file, right? I wanted to give him the APK file only if he shares that on Facebook or Twitter, because these were the 2 lockers available. So what eventually happened, that to get that APK file he had to share, and then everyone was looking for APK file and it started to spread. And in a single day, we saw almost 30,000 visitors in a single day. A lot of was coming from social. So once your social goes up, what eventually comes? Your Google ranking starts to improve because of your social signals. So then we started getting targeting traffic as well. And almost in 2.5 months, we made around $963 with Google AdSense. Now, 3rd tier college guy, always heard that IITians do amazing. They do so many stuff. And dude, we got $963, and I had my father's purchase Apple MacBook Pro with me. So what I did was I spent that $963 in purchasing second-hand laptop for my friends who agreed to work with me after they saw that $963. So we started by selling laptops, which was basically promoting Amazon's product. Then we started with shoes, and all this thing happened. We ended up having 5 to 6 sites. So where was this traffic coming from? Was it family whom I was spamming? Because if you have seen YouTube, there are a lot of people who say that this is how you can make money. You can register yourself, you can share your link to a family and friend, and then they can purchase. But it doesn't happen that way. What happens is that first interaction you do with them, It works. After 3-4 messages, they start to ignore, and you don't have retaining traffic, right? So how do you find this traffic? Well, you find this traffic by understanding marketing. And as a student, I didn't have a lot of money to pay 80,000 rupees to take a course or do anything. So I met Harsh Agarwal likely in 2015, and he talked about blogging. And then I started by borrowing 3,500 rupees from my father, and then it went forward. So we started with the site. We made decent amount of money. You can say we kind of were living luxury life where we were able to afford food at the end of the day, and we were able to purchase good clothes for ourselves, and also maintain our IT. So I got experience with SEO. That was the very first experience, and I understood the taste of the quality traffic, the intent traffic. So what is intent traffic? Well, what is the difference between social media and SEO? Can anyone say? What's the difference? Please.
Well, in SEO, people comes to search engine and then they search for something,
Right.
like a product or service.
Right.
In social media, brands they push content.
They push content, right? So when you go on Google, generally your intention is clear that hey, I'm going for this, and the intention is very, very clear. But when you're on Facebook or Instagram, your intention is not clear. You're just browsing and something pops up, right? So what happens though? Which medium is best to market? Can anyone say something around it? Which medium is best to market?
It depends.
It depends. You're a smart guy. Yeah, it depends is literally the best answer you can have, because let's say that if people are searching about your product, something like laptop, it has been existing for years and years. People will search on that and they will land on your website. But if it's a new product, it's not laptop, it's not tablet, people will not search about it. And then you have to educate the audience. At that point of time, you basically leverage social media. So after I worked there, after I finished my college, I worked as a research and developer in a top marketing company named Shoe Dogger. And this is where I got to see the scale. The person asked, the CEO guy with whom I had the final interview, he asked me, what do you know about digital marketing? And I was like, from domain registration to configuring a server to setting up a website, writing content and bringing 300 people every day, I can do everything in between, right? He was like, what's the proof? And I was like, okay, that's a good one. So I had to open my system, and I opened and I saw the traffic 80. And then it was like, oh, then it's a big flex, right? You had Google Webmaster at that point of time. You are saying 80 and it's like I pissed them 300. But then remember that I had 5 sites there. I tried changing it. It went around 121, and then it went around 282, and finally 282 was like almost the number that it equates to 300, right? So I showed him that, and then he looked at it, and then he started he called the manager and he allocated me immediately under business development role, because I can go to the meeting and I can discuss. So what did he see me? Why did he hire the previous person who was there? Because I had a lot of experience in this, building this stuff, and we were doing a lot of A/B testing. While selling shoes, we were so sure that we will publish one article from our digital library from our college around 3:30, 4 o'clock, and by tomorrow 1:30, that will be in the featured snippet. That will be in the featured snippet in the sense rank 0. You search for that, it will definitely come over there. And that's how we got the topical authority, and we did a lot of stuff there. So over a period of time, we did that, and my role became like I have to do research and development. So what does research and development requires? It requires a lot of resources. You need to have a lot of tools, you need to have a lot of domain content writers and a lot of people. If you ask a marketing agency to do that, they're not going to give you that, because marketing agencies run on a very thin budget. So my responsibility became that if I have to do this, then I have to hire people on my own. So I started publishing our intern Shala, and then hired around 22 people to write content, and we did massive research on Google as well as Quora. Now I know that their terms and conditions says that, hey, you should not spam here, you shouldn't do that. Dude, everyone everyone who owns a platform have these things written in the terms and conditions privacy policy. But for you as a business, what matters is how you are going to get the customer. It's as simple as that. If they are not agreeing, delete the account, spam it, or do whatever you want, but at the end of the day, if it is not making money for you, it's going to be challenging. The most expensive medium right today you have is basically Google. You go to run ads, you're gonna go it will start from around 40 rupees and it may go to 300, 400 depending on the industry. If you go to US, the CPC can go up to $30 as well, which are very, very expensive. So what mediums do you have? Well, you have to somehow figure out that how to get this traffic for free, right? So what should you do? Should you start doing that from day one? Well, you should. But then what do you do with the team while you are not getting traffic? Because SEO is not a one-day game. You have to wait for that. You have to do that for 4 months, 6 months. It may take 3 years to get decent amount of traffic and get your main money business keyword on the top of Google. So what you do is you basically combine your performance with your organic, and you start with performance and you go straight, and then you prepare your organic content to rank. And over a period of time, what you'll see that your organic traffic is actually surpassing your paid traffic, and at that point of time you can reduce your paid traffic a little bit, and then you can slowly reduce if that's viable for your business, right? So there are a couple of examples in the presentation. Sorry, this is not my system, and there were, yeah. Okay, while they come, I'll try to take it further. So, like, we discussed about 300 traffic and all, right? So, we were doing on 300 traffic, but then slowly we got serious. We started competing with slightly bigger companies, that was PC Mag. Then we started competing with Amazon. There was one keyword, best sling bag for college students. If you remember old Google search, there used to be 5 images if you are searching for any product. Do you remember that? We ranked 4 out of 5 images. That means that we were 4 images and there was one competitor or Amazon whose image was belonging there on the 5th position. So we took over 4 out of 5. Then we also did that with companies like NDTV. So NDTV, you might have heard that it's a news company, right? News publishing company. But news content actually gets stale in 3 to 5 days, right? That means that they don't have recurring traffic. So if you put their data into analytics in advanced tools, what you'll find out that their news traffic is actually less than 15%, and they depend a lot on the evergreen content side. They depend on technology content, which might be related to phone, which might be related to PC, laptops, TVs, and they also depend a lot on the food and recipe side. And through this, they make quite decent amount of money. So their main medium actually doesn't become their PR and news, but actually becomes this medium because they are they are trying to drive the traffic. So last year I was presenting here, and I did a case study of driving 45 million traffic from Google, in which one of the project was configured from scratch, where I configured the domain configure server and everything, and I took it till 7.5 million traffic. Can you guess that how many team members it could have taken to reach there? Any guesses? 3? Who answered that? Okay. Any more numbers? Did you contact my team? It was the right answer. So we had one person who was handling the tech, one person who was dedicated to the content, and we had one intern who was just exchanging here and there. And we got that leverage, and we literally ranked for almost 4.5 years, competing with NDTV, India Times, Nisha Madhulika, if you guys have heard of, and then we also competed with Food Viva and a lot of people on being ranking 1, just with 3 people. And that happened because we knew something about that industry that they were not aware of, and despite having a team of 300, 400 people, they were not able to compete us, and we actually retained that for this long time, and it happened. So if you have been thinking for a very long time that, hey, it requires a lot of budget to make this thing happen, not really. What you need to do is you need to understand that, you need to have the right people, you need to have the right system, and then test it properly. Don't quit the game in thinking of results for 2 to 3 months. Think long term that what it will bring to you. And it's not impossible to drive millions of traffic. We have done that, and I can say that it's very, very possible. All right, so finally, I had a small quiz. So why Google traffic is very expensive when we run ads? Any idea?
They have like most reach for the ads.
Reach for the ads. Okay. Any other answers?
They're kind of a monopoly in search market.
Yeah. They have the monopoly 89 to 91%. Where will you go? Bing? No, people are not using Bing. And we are so used to Google. So yes, that's absolutely the answer. A B2B insurance company should advertise on. A B2B company should advertise on platform to generate leads. Yeah. LinkedIn. Okay. Yes, they should do that on LinkedIn. Would you add any other platform on that? Google Ads, okay.
Like the ad network of Google and target like Forbes or Fortune or Business Today, that kind of magazine.
That is what exactly I thought almost 2.5 years ago, until we did an A/B test and we started using Instagram, and it was a silly case study, literally. It was surprising for us because everyone thinks that managers or CEOs and CMOs, they don't use Instagram, right? A lot of people have this thought. Turns out that they don't use that in front of employees, but behind the tables,
But they have different names in the Instagram. How do
Yeah.
you collate them? Huh?
Well,
Funny jazz, funny here and there. It's not easy.
Mark Zuckerberg will never tell you that he is doing the aggregation because he has legal formalities to fulfill, but his AI, he will just let you in everywhere. They will never tell you that they will allow you to target through that because your IP address is associated and phone MAC address is associated, and they know that you are associated. They actually let you target that, and it happens. And surprisingly, or maybe not surprisingly, if you are an Android user, your OEM, original equipment manufacturer, has already installed one SDK in your phone which you cannot uninstall, including Samsung. What happens is, many times you guys might have experienced that whatever you talk on the call, right, after 3-4 minutes or 5 minutes, the ad, very relevant ad comes to your phone. So how does it happen? If you have not installed Instagram and if you are not allowing the mic, well, it happens with the SDK. An SDK is something which you can likely disable in some phones, but many times you don't even know that it exists at the first place. So there are systems. Okay, so in this case, Instagram really worked out because people were using that and it helped them in really cutting the cost. Earlier, their cost was coming around 300 plus for each lead. With Instagram, it just came around 30 to 35 rupees, which was very interesting. Are you facing any market challenges in terms of marketing or technology? Anything? None? In terms of website scalability, programmatic SEO, and any other stuff?
It's a daily challenge.
It's a daily challenge?
It happens daily. Yeah.
Okay, sure. All right, so who am I? Well, as I told you, I'm Rana Chayant and I have been in this for 9 years. And we have driven 52 million plus traffic organically. Paid we have done, you can do, anyone can do paid, you can do strategic on that, but it's not something I feel to brag about because it's something you pay the money, Facebook will give you ads. So this is something which we have achieved, which is around 52 million traffic, and we have competed with Wikipedia, Amazon, PC Mag, and many authority sites in general, as I said you before. This is how it started, we started with tech blog and we started selling shoes, and then I got attitude after completing my engineering that I don't want to sell shoes after completing my computer science engineering, and then I sold the site and then started with side hustle, started StableX. StableX was a very interesting story. So after quitting Shoot Order was ranking for digital marketing agency in Hyderabad, #1. They were ranking for that. 7 months down the line after quitting, I get a call from one of their employee. Hey Rana, congratulations on starting your own company. I was like, how did you know that I started a company? They were like, buddy, you are ranking on #2 position and you really think that you can hide this and there is a number on the contact as well. I was like, yeah, sure, now we know. So yeah, it went crazy like that. And in 7 months we did that, and the website had only 13 pages. So we ranked for that, and we ranked for quite decent amount of time. And let me tell you, SEO is something which has saved us for last 6-7 years. Seriously, because if SEO wasn't in place, I couldn't have got projects from USA, Philippines, also Saudi Arabia. And if SEO wasn't there, I couldn't have done my business in Amazon, like in Canada, USA, and Germany. So despite having no connections, right, no connections in all these places, we did this, and we did this with intent-focused traffic, and it worked fantastically with even a smaller team. All right, so StableX is a company. Then we went around. HighCoder was an education-focused company which was teaching engineering to students. We didn't like it before even the EdTech boom happened. We exited the company because we didn't like that model. Then Mixed Commerce. We learned a lot of stuff in terms of SEO and marketing. We are building a SaaS company. It is taking time because SaaS takes time. Also, it requires a lot of money. So yeah. These are a couple of clients. We have worked with 50 plus clients, but these are some of them you may likely remember. So Amazon, BMW, Kaspersky. RDP is a laptop manufacturing company in Hyderabad, and there are many other profiles here. Synergy is a company which is managing IT for Gap, the Gap apparel company, second biggest apparel company. So we manage their tech, and they manage Gap's tech. So yeah. So this presentation was basically focused for specific people who want to reduce their CAC, customer acquisition cost, gain authority in the space, or scale the growth, and marketing enthusiast. Marketing enthusiast can be any student or anyone, but firstly is what was our target here. Okay, so what is marketing with authority? Well, generally what happens that in general flow, that if you have a business, then you will have your online team and offline team. Online team will define you that, hey, we should run ads, we should do Google ads and all this stuff, because in the initial phase of business, you can't really win with SEO. So they will say you that. And after the lead is generated, your salespeople will call them. And what happens that they follow in, and a lot of people, the very first thing they do is actually the search about your company on Google. Now, even though if you didn't run any brand campaign, you will often see that people are searching for your brands, and those people are the people who have talked with your salespeople or might have heard this. Mostly it is actually sales associated, and you should definitely rank for that. So of course, your website will rank if you have done your basic growth, but along with that, you should also have the very first impression. That is, you should have good number of reviews popping up on your review page, any kind of other space which might be employee related as well. Your employee review matters to the customers as well. So this is something that happens and impacts in terms of international customer base. This should be good. Along with that, there are more things which are defined here. So the general flow goes like audience research, keywords and targeting, content, campaign, leads and sales. But then there is more here, which you can do to actually increase the conversion and not lose those people who have searched about your brands. See, the thing is, if you have a bad customer, you will know that you have a bad customer. But if that customer never converted, you will not even get that bad customer. And that's a problem, and that's the problem we are trying to resolve here with authority. So what happens that in the authority process, what you do is you build your authority and you prepare yourself post sales calls, right? What happens after sales? Well, people do their research, right? So they do their research on Google search. So make sure that your Google search is good. It's not just your website, it's also other websites who are ranking on the first page. So make sure that you have authority on that. Then take over the social metric. So I'm currently consulting a fractional real estate company. There is one company in the space which has 20,000 likes. There is another company having 1.5K. There is another company having 1K. And if all three companies are contacting the same customer, how the customer will make the decision, right? How the customer will make the decision if this space, like the fractional real estate market space, is very new, right? So they will go on the social media and they will see that how many followers you have. They will see what people are talking about. They will see what you are talking about. They will see who are the founders, right? Because they are investing their real money and they really want to know who are the people who are behind it, because we had a crypto heist in 2021. And now again, if any kind of issue happens in terms of blockchain or tokenization, again, they don't want to lose the money. So there are issues associated with that. So it is about taking over the social metric, and it is especially for B2B. When you have unified brand experience, you might have seen a lot of brands where they write something on LinkedIn, but their messaging actually doesn't go very well with their other channels, and that's a problem again, because you are telling different things, and that creates trust issue, and that becomes a challenge. Takeover search on L1, L2, and L3. Can anyone say what this could be possibly? L1, L2, and L3? Sorry? Long tail keywords, L1, L2, and L3. Okay. So we define it little differently here. So L1 is generally your brand keywords, where you rank for your brand keywords. L2 is generally your industry specific keywords. So let's say that HubSpot is a CRM. HubSpot itself is a brand, and then you are looking for CRM for small business. Then CRM for small business comes in level 2, right? Now HubSpot is a CRM, but if you search for lead extraction Chrome extension, HubSpot again ranks there. So although the business is not associated with lead extraction directly, it actually ranks for those because it is the same audience who is reading the content. So what they do is they try to get the lead from there, nurture them by sending a lot of leads, sending them a lot of courses, and then they try to nurture on the go, which basically helps because it helps you because, at the time of selling, because the person is not getting to know your brand for the very first time. And this is one of the most interesting way to do that, because there are a lot of CRM companies that are investing a lot of money on ads, and ads are expensive, especially in this space. So what happens that once you have this touch points, it actually helps you in selling, and eventually your CAC reduces because you don't have a lot of drops in the sales pipeline. All right, industry roundup. So industry roundup is one of the interesting way to position yourself higher. So what you do here is, although you are a CRM company, you actually invite CMO of other CRM companies to come and speak on your stage, or it might be a blog article, and you take their inputs. What happens that because you are holding that stage, you get the authority of you are holding that, and people actually remember you because you are holding that position. And it helps you, one, in getting your branding done. Second, it also helps you in link acquisition. So whoever are the expert in the industry, they actually speak on this, and you get content on your blog. Along with that, what happens that you also get a lot of good links. The links which will cost you a lot of money, because you are mentioning this on your blog, it actually becomes quite affordable for you to put that on the space. Podcast, video podcast, and procast. So can I have a hand raise on this, that how many of you are actually focusing in this space?
We have to start focusing.
You have to start focusing.
Podcast.
You guys are focusing it already?
Yes.
That's very nice. It is basically answer to the question which you asked to CK at that time, that how to build relationship with people. Well, if you start to build one-on-one relationship with a lot of people, it's gonna take a lot of time, and it will require multiple clones of you to make that happen. And unfortunately, Neuralink is not ready yet. So we got to have a lot of time for that. So what we do is, like, we try to be in their mind by producing content which they like, right? So let us say that you are in the CRM space and something is happening in terms of AI, or something is happening in terms of lead nurturing. If you bring experts, this guy is very much interested in listening to you as well as the new experts you are bringing in. And because you are in his feed, likely at least once a week, he's going to be interesting to you. So although you are not talking to him, he is listening to you, he is watching you. And what happens through this, you have a very scalable way. So even though if you have 2,000 views on your podcast, you actually will feel that, okay, you interacted with 2,000 people, and next time when you meet, they will not feel that you haven't met for 2 years. They will actually feel connected that, hey, I like this part, and this person was very interesting, and I learned. So it really works out quite well.
What is Procast?
Procast, it's very interesting.
Just,
Yeah, Procast is very interesting. So what you do, see, a lot of people have problems, right? We have marketing problems. What if I and one of very good digital marketer who is likely in the email marketing space, the lady over there I talked today, we sit here on the panel, we open our webcam and we just say that call this number to resolve your issues and it is free, right? And all this process will be recording. You might have seen this happening with a lot of people. And this content is very, very interesting because every time the story changes. Every time the story changes, and although the same problem might be related to SEO, you might be interested in knowing the next person's business. And it is in human nature that we want to know more, we want to know more the story. And what happens that through this, you are curating a lot of content and you are going in the feed of all those people who are actually willing to contact and you want to contact them because you are talking in their industry, right? So what happens in this way, you have a very scalable system. Through media, you are able to make that happen. So are we talking theoretically here? Am I just listing these points? No, I'm not. You want to get it done? You spend 15-20 lakhs rupees in building your setup. You don't have anyone to build? Give me a call. I'll get you people to get that done. Okay, you don't have 15-20 lakhs. You just want to get a couple of podcasts done. You want to just give it a try. Please don't. Why? Because if you want to try it with 2 podcasts, no, it's not going to work. It's as simple as that. You have to put a commitment for at least 3 months. See where it is going, because the AI itself, the YouTube AI or Instagram AI itself has to learn where to show this content. Eventually, what will happen that your quality of content will improve. You will understand that how to send that content in 90 seconds and 60 seconds, and eventually the process will improve. So if you are choosing Procast or podcast, make sure that you are spending enough time. If you are not an expert, find an expert and try to get it done, because it is very, very important. Once you are frustrated, you will not be in your mind. You will not be in your mind. You'll be like, no, I'm not going to do that. There should be some person, some consultant who should see from there that, hey, don't quit now. Give this many attempts. Go for this and then do that. And this is one of the space. Let me tell you, it is not for everyone. If there are 1,000 competitors, it's not even for top 10 people. It's literally for 2 to 3 people. Is it easy to do? Relatively easy to do. Relatively easy to do, because if you go and compete on SERP, you have 1,000 websites ranking. Here you have to show faces. A lot of people are not comfortable in showing their faces. But if you show your face, and if you can curate and crack this, then you are going to have a lot of connections. I'm not talking about audio podcast, I'm talking about video podcast. People will remember you, people will come and say hi to you, hello to you. Hey, I saw this podcast in which you invited this person, I like this idea, implemented it, I got some result. Hey, very happy for you, right? So it really works fantastically, well. And right now, a lot of people are not doing that. So the space is open for only few people, not for everyone. And if you can do that, if you can convince your management, then it is amazing to do this. And through this, you will see that you don't even need contact forms, a lot of contact forms. What I have seen, there was one time Google News, right? Google News is a rare topic. Google News approval is given to maybe in a million websites, 5 or 7 will get, right? We submitted 2 websites, we got for all 2. There was not a lot of content available on YouTube to educate how to get approval and all. I curated general content with the DSLR, right? I curated general content, I created 7 videos, a lot of leads came from people from Australia contacted me, people from Pakistan contacted me. Yeah. No, but okay, I'll just put aside. Yeah, I got calls from USA, I got calls from Europe, and they wanted this Google News approval, right? So did I have to SEO to do that? No, there was no one who was doing that. I did that. I got calls, and they filled the form. And emails are very nice. They will write very long emails. I have defined them very clear. Hey, you want free support? Huh? You write very long detailed mails. Once I get free, maybe after 10 days I will reply. Otherwise, you come on the consulting part, I will give you one specific day in which, one specific hour, we can discuss what you want to know, right? So it worked fantastically well. So if you see that no one is doing, maybe it's your time to go and do so. And leave everything to AI and recommendation engine, they will make your content reach to those people. So yeah. Industry news is not as fantastic as podcast in terms of branding, but industry news is still a thing which is quite interesting. Have you heard the security company named Cyber? Cyber, and it's based in HSR. So this company, what it does is, it's a security company. It started like a startup. What they started doing was, they started aggregating news throughout the industry. Anyone got hit by ransomware, they published an article. Anyone got hit by any data breach, they published an article on that. And they started aggregating this content, and eventually what happened, that these people started getting 3000% more traffic on their news channel than the main website, because there was not much branding to the website. Are these the same people they should be targeting to this? Yes. What these people did, that they started creating a Google login option, right? First they gave all the content for free. After you have visited maybe 5-7 times, you are comfortable logging in with your Google. And once you have logged in with your Google, they start their lead nurturing process. These are the best industry practices. This is what Cisco said this year. This is what, Cyber said this year. And they start mixing it out. And it worked fantastically well for them. We have explored with Google News. Google News has a lot of capacity to get high quality backlinks. We have done some of the case studies. I cannot really tell you here because those were sensitive topics and we had very deep research and we got some data from dark web as well. So I cannot really showcase here. But there are case studies and fantastic ways through which you can get 1500 worth of a single backlink, which you have to pay if you go and talk them directly. Okay.
Sorry, I'll do that. I was screensaver there.
So how boring am I so far? Right, monthly newsletter is a very common thing, but please don't be boring there. Every time you try to send a newsletter, send them industry news itself, send them some third-party content itself, but make sure that you are adding value. Don't be the typical guy, they will unsubscribe you or they will not care, they will report spam and so on and so forth. Some of the, there are some good newsletters available. How many of you know My First Million YouTube channel, right? It's amazing. If you haven't seen, you should go and see. These people ask you to subscribe to The Hustle and they list out amazing things that are happening in terms of business across the world, and they put interesting content, and because of that reason, I read their long mail. In that long mail, they mention 15 different things, and I really read that. So those are the inspirations which you get. I don't do personally, I just want to say that I don't do email marketing. I mostly depend on organic because I have done organic fantastically and I depend a lot on that. So, but then it is a medium to build authority. Strategic positioning on social media. Some of you might have seen that Zomato and Swiggy has been commenting on random videos which are really good looking in terms of food. Again, they are not really selling you there, but they are just reminding, hey, you're just seeing here, but you can order something from the food. So that can be something. Again, we don't do that, but that's just an observation which has been taken. It's not really possible to do that in B2B space. Only if you are positioned to, in that space, you should be doing that. So yeah. Among all of these, which one do you think are the strongest? Top 3.
Podcast, I think, is okay.
Mm-hmm. We asked for top 3, so you can list down. A single person can list down 3, no problem.
Number 4.
Okay. Number 4.
5, 4 and 6. 5 and 6. 5, 4 and 6.
Yeah, 4, 5, and 6 are the strongest. I highly recommend you that if you are looking for little faster growth, you can actually try 6 because there is not a lot of competition, seriously. And if you are lack of resources, I am sharing my contact details anyway. If you want a proper setup, you will get a setup. If you want only specific podcasts to be done, I will give you contact. You need to deal with them directly. Why am I sharing this? Because I am speaking here, and you just do it. There is nothing there for me. I just want you to do it because it can be a very good case study. And yeah. Okay. So in terms of online marketing, what really changed in terms of organic marketing 2020 versus 2024? What changed? COVID, okay. COVID.
Customers using online platforms have increased.
Okay, sure. That's good. Okay, next.
clicks coming to blogs are reducing. They are dropping because of SG.
Because of?
The search generative experience. Because of the AI, the clicks that used to come to blogs, they are now dropping significantly, mostly for the evergreen kind of content.
Okay. Anything from there, sir? All right.
We are seeing webinar fatigue.
Webinar fatigue. All right. Google is crying. How many of you observed that? Yeah? Google is crying because they are facing a lot of issues in finding out what is original content and what is duplicate content or what is AI generated content. And they are facing this issue and they are de-indexing all these articles. I have seen articles that were written in 2018 by my very first interns. They are now being indexed because they are feeling that it is AI generated content, and it's really not. It's really not. So they are facing this issue, and a lot of articles are getting de-indexed. A lot of problematic pages are also getting de-indexed, and it is becoming one of the biggest challenges to deal with. So if text content has become so cheap, how should Google be defining and how Google will look forward? Any answer? How Google will define that this is original content?
There are AI models which can detect AI generated content. I don't know.
Okay,
They
sure,
might use that.
sure.
I think the author plays a huge role. The author bio in each blog.
Hmm.
That plays a big role because if the author is contributing more content in different platforms like in blog, in LinkedIn, in Coda, in Reddit also, there is a huge community in Reddit. So if the author is contributing there, so Google consider those signals that the author is genuine, it's not AI generated, and he or she is contributing content.
Right. Any other thing from you guys? By the way, I did a very big mistake in the beginning. I'm not sure if you noticed it. I wanted to know who is my audience. How many of you are students? I'm so glad. Yeah, because they ask a lot of questions and they don't apply. So how many of you are in online marketing, like anything, paid social search, anything? Amazing. Rest of all, can you just give a shout out what you are in?
I'm in creative marketing.
You are in?
Creative team.
Creative marketing. Got it. Sure. Any other entrepreneurs?
Analytics, media.
Analytics and media, right? So I think that we are on point. Almost we are focused on it. So okay, sure. So the AI problem has come, and video content is yet not good with AI. So that is very easy to detect. The issue Google is facing is basically with the textual content. So rightly said, author description is one of the important thing to do so. Put your author description properly, let it be long, no problem. Put a real photo, it's very important. I would say that I would suggest not to use avatars and all because they are still almost faking it. Take something which has something which is taken with phone or DSLR, put it there. Along with that, put any research paper, any work which you have done in the past. Let it be ugly, no one cares. Let it be ugly, it's fine. But make sure that you put all those citations there. Along with that, don't follow the same pattern AI is doing. Like, here are 4 points you can discuss and then conclusion, right? Go deeper. Don't discuss a lot of stuff. Go specific. A specific blog can be how to write your subject line in your email. Literally that specific. Right. We recently did a test. Simple mails works way better than longer mails which have a lot of casualties. Right. So you can do a lot of specific content and don't cover everything. Go on EEAT parameters, right? So there are 2 things here. Expertise, authority, and trustworthiness. It is slightly older, 3 years ago they defined it, and then there has been one more thing in the industry called YMYL type of content. Your money, your life. And this applies to primarily 3 type of categories. And Google applies this because they have to be a trusted platform so that people can come and do the searches again. So what are those 3 categories? Well, if you are working in the health sector and you write articles to the general public, then make sure that the person who is the author is actually experienced as well as certified to write that article. This is the same reason why MedPlus or PharmEasy have multiple authors in the profile, and you will see that their MBBS and other degrees are associated there, and it's the same reason. So if you are in this space, medical space, you should write that. Same thing applies to the finance side, where finance and investment comes in the picture. You again have to go detailed. You have to show that you are certified to say that. Of course, SEBI had given the guidelines, but SEBI guidelines are for the people. But Google has taken this action way before, that general people should not be suggesting and giving advice in terms of financial content. And if you have your business or your company's business in the financial space, make sure that these are optimized. Otherwise, you will continue to write your high quality content and you will see that, okay, why it's not reaching, there will be issues there, right? Along with that, there are a couple of things which you can do with your articles. One, while writing article, you take a lot of references from other people, right? You should mention those references. While writing article, your writers will feel lazy, they will copy a lot of images from others. Don't do that. Or maybe do initially and get it revised with your graphic design team. Try to get your content done in a way that others steal your content, right? Others steal your content, and it's a strategy. When others steal your content, put it in reverse image search, give a mail that, hey, you are using our image, you pay $100 or you give a link. The decision will always be a link. Got it? So based, even though if they are not very high authority in their space, if you are getting the link, you are saving almost $50 to $60 easily. And if they are high authority, good enough, you are good. And let me tell you that I have done that, and I have got from a website which was actually charging almost $1,200 for a single guest post, and they stole our content. And we actually outreached to them, and the author was saying that I'm not going to give you credit. And we went to the editor, and then finally we got the credit, because before they can delete the content, we actually got it indexed on archive.org, which is your internet archive, right? So if they say that we haven't used, hey, there's the proof that you have used it. You don't want to do, I will report this article to Google and I will get this article removed. You don't have to do that. They will get scared and they will give you the link. So they have done the mistake, they will give you the link, and we have done that. Along with this, there are a couple of things which we have done in terms of in terms of gaining authority. It might not be very, very ideal for you to do so, but we have done that. For example, let's say that if you are in the technology space and you are seeing this big tech doing manipulations, right? So there was a time when Google released its own SMS app called Messages, right? And it was always presented that Android is open source, and they pushed their SMS app. And what happened in the COVID, that I messaged one of my interns that, hey, let's connect on Zoom, and Google Devo button automatically appeared in that SMS application, right? Start call with Google Devo. I was like, I didn't talk about call, I did not talk about anything, and they are bidding on the brand name. That means that there is definitely something wrong. We wrote one article, it got published, and then we pushed it on Quora Tech. We are on number 3 on the subreddit Tech. Suddenly we went to number 1, and we had around 484 comments and 3,000 plus upvotes. 24 hours down the line, we had 32,000 plus visitors, and we got 3 very good quality links from there, because everyone saw that Google monopoly. We saw that as positioning, we published it, we got the link. There you go. So for these links, you have to play a lot of game to get these links, but if you play strategically, it's really possible to make it happen. So we did that, and yeah, it works well. So again, back to the AI content, right? What can you do more? Well, you have to be more as humanly possible, right? So you add more and more human images, you add your own diagrams, you brand the diagrams so that your customer also feels that, hey, these people have created content on their own. It definitely requires time, it definitely requires resources. If you can't hire your graphic design team, go ahead, hire interns for 10,000 rupees or 5,000 rupees also, right? If they are working online, 5K is fine. If they are working in your office, pay them 10K, 15K, they are good. They will also get experience, they will also get a job easily after that. And if you feel comfortable, you can also hire. So we have scaled a lot of campaigns, and we have hired up to 35 interns, literally telling you 35 8 interns from India, and we have kind of a map where to hire them. From Kolkata, we hire content writers. From Jharkhand, UP and Uttarakhand, we hire engineers. From Maharashtra, we hire managers. And then from Bangalore, we hired none because we can't afford. Seriously. Yeah.
Good one.
Yeah, no, that was the case. So it happened like that. So after you start to do this authority, right? Authority process of curating your content. What happens that eventually you'll start to see that in olden times you had almost 3 customers or 2 customers converting in 100 leads. But it will increase because your positioning has improved. They have searched on Google, they have found that you have a lot of content related to the industry. You have brought in experts, and they start to believe that you know what you are doing, and there is a big team behind it who is actually doing this stuff, right? Although it might be just backed by interns and working everything out, but they start to trust. You can charge a little bit higher for also, and they will start to believe and trust in your service. And this is how you should be building authority, and this is how authority is built. So there are very good chances that earlier you were converting only 3 leads. There are very good chances that you will start to convert 8 leads, because once you start to do this process, your reach will increase, your authority will increase, your positioning will increase, and you are no more just a company online with general social media and website. You are someone who holds the authority, and they will feel that yes, these people are the right people to do the stuff. So couple of impacts which happens after you build the authority is increase in your brand value, right, in front of your customers. Ranking on Google becomes easy because you have curated a lot of content related to your brand and your industry. Surprising fact, I'm not sure if you know about it, if you start to publish YouTube videos and if you embed in your article, which are just average articles like your competitors, your article will start to rank. I have done this test. I have done this test in 2020, 2021, and still we are doing that on scale. And it works out fantastically. So you can do that. Increase in mouth to mouth, yes, that's something which happens. Better positioning for the sales people. Then confidence in sales team. Yes, your sales team, of course, when you are average, they don't get the confidence to sell with confidence. But when you are top, they will literally say, go and search on Google, compare yourself. I don't need to send you, the browser 7 times. Go and see yourself what is happening on Google. So go and see the industry. And here is a report where top CRM company is actually speaking about our company or our AI system, and it works fantastic for positioning. Then sell with slightly higher prices and better ROAS, return on ad spend. This becomes easier because you have done your authority building process. So through this, your CAC decreases, and eventually you get better ROAS in terms of advertising. There are a couple of big companies which have done this stuff. HubSpot is one of them. You will see that they have done fantastically well in terms of blog content, training content, video content, and you go and search about HubSpot, or you search about their industry, or you search any other thing which is related to their industry, they will pop up. And they pop up in a fantastic way. And after you have visited their blog for 3 times, once the salespeople will call you, you will not ask what is HubSpot. You will say that how much does this cost. You may reject them because their cost is very higher, but then you know about their brand, and you will know deep down, even though if you use their competitor product, that CRM is better. I cannot afford it today. You'll have a better positioning in their heart that yes, I cannot afford, but yes, there is a good company which does that. So Amazon is commerce, so we will not compare mostly on that, but yes, this is this is a small metric how these companies have used organic marketing versus paid marketing. They spend so less on driving paid, and they spend so much on driving organic, and they don't have to pay for every click on Google, which is very, very expensive. In fact, the most expensive in the industry. So there are a couple of resources. You don't need hundreds of tools or 20s of tools. You need SEMrush. Then you need industry predictable search keywords. For example, if you are let's say if you are in real estate investment and your brand is ranking, then whenever your salespeople will call, they would like to know about your brand, that your brand is trustable or not, or you are just faking it out. So you need to build that authority to make sure that your pages are ranking. And don't depend a lot on third-party websites. For example, let us say that PropFTX is a company, and you are selling real estate, and someone is searching for PropFTX reviews, right? And then Glassdoor is ranking, and then Trustpilot is ranking. You know what happens? If your customer put review here, you can't really remove them from there. You can do some very third party, payment system which costs a lot of money, they do remove reviews actually. You have to pay them a lot. But if those reviews are coming on your web page, your tech team has the capability, they can change whatever they want to. I'm not saying that remove all the bad reviews, but make sure that your positioning is good there and you hold the authority to do the things there. All right, then pages with and without search volume. So this applies a lot in terms of B2B as well as B2C. B2B businesses often do not have very high search volume, right? But you have very general questions coming in. If you put it in any tool, you will not get search volume. But if your instinct as a customer is saying that this is something people will search on Google, don't think twice, write article on that and just publish it. Because people will come for that, you will not have search volume, but you will see after 7 months, 8 months that people will be visiting that and it will help you in conversion. So that is a great strategy. If you have been doing, great. If you have not been doing, do that. It's important. For B2C generally, you have higher search volume, so you can focus for that. If you are a B2C company, if you have only one product, then go deeper around this question and answer. If you are in e-commerce, then focus mostly on the core keywords to push it up and push it up through blogs as well. Proactive content and SEO team. Have you gone on Policy Bazaar, and Policy Bazaar always pushes you to check your credit score? Yeah? But then you go to a lot of CRM companies' blog and they don't ask you to test what is the quality of your website. So for a CRM company as well, you can do that lead generation process there, that hey, how good is your website, right? You can give them. Now GTmetrix is paid. GTmetrix is a tool to check speed of website. It has become paid now. You can release a free version and you can give them report, and then you can add those people in your pipeline. Then you can find out more data with Apollo and find out that what is the role of these people if they are qualified to be marketed, right? And then you can do a lot of stuff there. So when I say proactive content basically means that you rank those tool pages and use that to do lead generation, and it works out pretty well. Any tool will not cost you 100 blogs. A tool will cost you a single page with a little bit of engineering cost, and it works pretty well. Who will do? Well, if you are someone who is already in a company, you are working, you are already occupied with a lot of stuff, then it is very, very hard to push everything which you have done, right? It sounds good. See, I gave my last presentation on 45 million traffic last year, and I and Nitin talked, right? He said that, okay, let's have a talk, and till today we didn't do the talk. We didn't do the talk. It went postponed, right? So the thing is that you will think in your mind that, hey, this is something I can do, right? I will do. Months passes by, year passes by, and then eventually things do not happen. So what you do is you define a proper system, you bring in consultant. Don't bring in me if I'm not good, right? You bring someone, that's fine. Bring a subject matter expert who knows your business, likely your CEO because he knows your industry well. Bring a consultant. If you can get a consultant who have done this stuff, it will be great for your business because he will define the whole structure, how to do so, and he will track on what's needed, right? Then you bring in executives. Executives will cost you money. Every company will not be having money, and this is where this agency and interns come in the picture, right? Now each of them deliver in their own way. If you give it to an agency, agency will ask you specific questions, they will give you 2-3 revisions, they will fix it. If you ask interns, interns will have less maturity, they require training, you should train them and you should get the output. But at any one of them, you have to make sure that your expectation and your input is in the right order. You cannot expect full-time allocation of a consultant if you're hiring a consultant, right? So you define it properly, and this is how it works. We have done this for a couple of companies. We are doing this now for real estate companies, and we are doing this for a couple of SaaS companies as well. And it's an amazing process to do so. Your management may not agree, but you need to showcase this benefit, that this is how it adds value. This is how, and this is why you should be doing this. And especially in terms of podcast, as I said you before, that there are not a lot of positions available. Only few people should agree, and only few people will be able to do. So yeah, this is Yeah, this is another, like, this is a small case study with full-timers, 5 full-time people working in office. They drove 1.16K traffic in last 16 months. What do you think of this metric? Is it good or bad or average? Say openly. Don't fall. Maybe I have my own opinion on this.
These are website visits?
These are website visitors from Google, and this is into B2C space in finance.
It's not.
It's not good. How many of you say it's not good?
Yeah, it's good.
It's good? Okay, sure. So I'll give you a little more context on this. So they are in real estate and they have driven, and a lot of traffic was coming on the brand search. Okay. So the content team and SEO team was almost non-existing. They were there writing content, but there was no one to guide that this is what you should be writing on, this is how you should be curating pillar pages. So they were a car without a direction. There was no one to drive, and they were just going wherever they can with the wind, right? And that was the problem. This is one of this is into the chemical space and B2B space, and this website was driving traffic from India as well as Bhutan and other countries where they supply their chemicals. So this is 5.33K. Just to let you know, their ticket size goes above and beyond 5 lakhs minimum. So what do you think of this traffic?
This is good. It's good.
It's good? Yeah. Then this B2C space, in the food space it is, and it is 1.12 million in last 16 months. Yeah, it is a million. It's in fact one of, all of these three are my portfolio companies. Was the first one I recently signed up, which had very less traffic, and I told them that, hey, with 5 full-timers you can do way better. I suggested them that if you don't have a lot of budget, bring a stack of interns. Make sure that you train them well, and make sure that you define your KPIs properly. It will work fantastically well. We hire a lot of interns from IIMs and a lot of good engineering colleges from Maharashtra, right? Like, we have interviewed a lot of people, right? And there are a lot of good people who come in. They are not just coming to sit in the office, or they are not just coming to time pass. And what we do, we also have our own process. Hey, you have to deliver 23 articles. Every day you have to write 1400 to 2000 word of content, and if the article is rejected, we don't pay you. If you meet your 90% criteria, then we approve your stipend for the next month. So it becomes their responsibility to curate the content. I don't have to put a manager all the time behind them to do the stuff. And everything happens on Google Sheet. So we do that, and we define the process, and now we don't have expensive project management softwares. We have General Mail, they have Gmail, we have our own business Gmail, and then it works well for us. So we have done this for more than maybe 3,500 articles, each article being more than 4,000 to 7,500 words, right? And we have done that, and it works. So yes, you will have bad people, but where are no bad people? You will have to remove them from the system, and you have to improve. So it worked well. So first company I recently onboarded, we are doing something big on this. This company has been in the space. They hired one full-time SEO for just 4 months, and they had this result. After that, the guy was not comfortable working in the space because this company didn't have a fancy office, and he wanted a fancy office. So yeah. And this is crazy. This is, by the way, done with 3 people, which you answered. So yeah, it took quite amount of time to do so, but then yes, it was done with 3 people. So yeah, I believe that we are likely at the end. Yeah, how to proceed? Well, it should be company's goal. They should understand that these things add value, and they have to do a lot of A/B tests to make this thing happen. The mindset of management should be good. No, you can't deliver keyword ranking in a month. It's as simple as that. Define the right expectations. They will not pull you all the time. If you don't, then they will run you behind and they will kill the project. Budget, yes. People, I told you already, full-timers, consultant, or freelancers or part interns. Then you have partnerships. You can do partnerships, KPIs and improvements which are general in it. Yeah, you can download this presentation if you wish to with your phone. There is last year presentation as well in which I have given the case study on 45 million. So if you prefer doing that, it is available on my site. By the way, this is my personal website. I have my 2 company websites separately, and I'm doing this just part of my research and developing this presentation. So yeah, I have given my personal website.
Thank you, Rana. Thank you for the great.
If you have any questions, you can ask.
We can take the questions during the break.
Yeah,
because,
sure.
I think
I
we
surpassed the time?
No, we are up on time. It's not you surpass the time. So we'll take a quick 15 minutes break. Yes, I think so because people need the break now. And then we'll start with